Hello, welcome to the home of the Ghost Owl, and yes, we're there, we're ready, and it's time for the next faction focus for Warhammer the Old World, and this time we're going to be looking at the High Elf realms. So this episode focusing on the Grand Army and special rules, so let's check out what the Elves have to bring us. So, special rules starting off, they get the Arrows of Isha. Any bow, including longbows, shortbows, warbows, or bow of Avalorn, carried by a model with this special rule has the Armor Bane 1 and Armor Piercing characteristic of -1. So that is really good because that now significantly adds value to longbows, for example. They had the range, now they get the armor piercing, plus they get the armor bane there as well. That's very nice and can obviously help out those bows of Avalorn. You've got the Blessings of Aarian. A model with this special rule has a 5+ ward save against flaming attacks. That's a little bit situational, I have to say. Dragon Armor, a model with this special rule has a 6+ ward save, and wizards with this special rule may wear armor without penalty. Now that's pretty nice, but it's pretty much tailored towards dragon mages. Elven Reflexes. Now, most of the units will get this, which is a model with this special rule, but not the mount, has a +1 initiative to a maximum of 10 during the first round of combat. That's amazing. Elves already have quite a high initiative, so to get that +1 in the first round of combat, really, really nice. Though is obviously still going to have a significant impact due to charging, right? You get your charge bonus, so if they get charged, maybe if it's by an incredibly low initiative unit, they might still have a chance of attacking first. But in a lot of cases, you know, that +1 isn't going to equate to a charge bonus on the initiative. Ithilmar Armor and Ithilmar Barding. A model with a special rule may re-roll any rolls of 1 when making a dangerous terrain test, and wizards with this special rule may wear armor without penalty. So that's nice. The re-rolling in dangerous terrain, that's so dependent upon the board that you're playing on. I'd say I've seen so many boards with tons of terrain and almost zero terrain, so again, very, very situational. Ithilmar Weapons, when engaged in combat, a model with this special rule that is fighting with a hand weapon may re-roll hit rolls of 1. That's good. Re-rolls always good. This does not apply to magic weapons, mounts, two-hand weapons, or any other sort of weapon. So this is only for hand weapons. Okay, next up is Lilius Blessing. So once per turn, a model with this special rule may re-roll a single failed casting roll. Well, the elves are supposed to be good at magic, and this only helps that. So re-rolling to make sure you get your spell off, very valuable. Lion Cloak, a model with this special rule, improves its armor value by 1 to a maximum of 2+ against non-magical shooting attacks. Obviously, mainly targeted at White Lions of Crace, but also could be given to a character. Martial Prowess, a unit with this special rule can make supporting attacks to its flank and rear as well as to its front. And again, that's very nice if you've got some sort of anvil style unit. That ability that, you know, if you do know you're going to get flanked, that ability to get those extra attacks, absolutely going to help out a lot. So, yeah, that's pretty nice. And the final special rule for the faction as a whole is a unit with this special rule may re-roll any failed panic test caused by taking heavy casualties or by being fled through by a friendly unit. So again, you know, elves are supposed to be incredibly well disciplined. You know, they're old, lots of experience in many cases, and therefore, you know, that this does absolutely make sense from a lore perspective, but absolutely, you know, that's going to be great on the tabletop, so that if you do get caught out, somebody rolls incredibly well for some shooting attack or magic attack and you lose a bunch of casualties, you've got a good chance of not running away, which is awesome. Okay. Armory of Ulthram, right, special weapons specific to High Elf. So we've got the Bow of Avalorn, normally used by the Sisters of Avalorn. So range 30, strength as user, and AP is -1. Armor Bane 1, magical attacks and volley fire. Now, as you saw above with the Arrows of Isha, that's going to give it an AP of -1 and Armor Bane 2. So you've now got a 30-inch AP -1, Armor Bane 2, Volley Firing Bow. That's pretty nice. Ceremonial Halberd, okay, so range, combat, strength +1, AP -1, Armor Bane 1, can fight in an extra rank, magical attacks, requires 2 hands, and cannot make supporting attacks in a turn in which it charged. But nice getting the fight in extra rank. It's not necessarily the strongest weapon or have the most armor piercing, but you're certainly going to get plenty of attacks out with that fight in extra rank. So very much this is focused around the Phoenix Guard. You've got the Cracian of a Great Blade. Range, obviously, for combat. Strength +2, AP -3. So this is a good weapon for taking down more tough, higher toughness units or those with more armor. But it does require 2 hands, and more importantly, strikes last, which is a big negative overall. And that always makes me think twice about, do I really want to take this? Sword of Hoeth, however, range, combat, strength +2, AP -2, so it does fit kind of in between. This is the Sword Masters of Hoeth. Magical attacks and requires 2 hands, but isn't strike last. So while it is a required 2-hand weapon, it doesn't strike last, and therefore you've got kind of, you're only losing 1 AP off those White Lions. So Sword Masters of Hoeth, I think, are a good value for getting that extra damage in. Okay, Law of Safri then, so you've got your signature spell. So Hand of Cain, it's an assailment spell, it's 8+ casting value. Single enemy model the caster is engaged in combat with suffers a single strength 4 hit with no armor save permitted. Ward and regeneration saves can be taken as normal. To be honest, I find this very mediocre for a casting value of 8, a single strength 4 hit. Okay. Yeah, I don't think this is the best spell ever. I think there's better things that you can get. Right, Courage of an Aarian, enchantment, casting value of 10, range 15, and it does remain in play. While this spell is in play, the target friendly unit gains the Unbreakable special rule. That can be really nice. If you've got an anvil unit, you expect it to be kind of tough in combat, but maybe you've got a unit which is not quite so tough, but you just need it to hold for an extra turn to delay the enemy. So being able to cast Unbreakable on them, that could be really, really nice. So enchantments already on the unit will expire, and the spell may target a friendly unit engaged in combat. So you can be engaged in combat, can be a second round of combat. You go, I just need them to be there for one more turn. This not break and flee. So this could be the one that can really help out. So I think this is actually quite a nice spell. And then Vols Unmaking. This is a hex. It's a casting value of 11+. Range is 12 inches. This spell can only target enemy characters. However, it may target any enemy characters in range that the caster can draw a line of sight to, regardless of the usual rules for targeting characters, including enemy characters that have joined units or are engaged in combat. So you can snipe with this one, though 12 inches isn't that great a range. But the casting player chooses a single magic item carried by the target. The chosen magic item cannot be used for the remainder of the game. Now, casting value of 11 is pretty high, but can you imagine if you've got an enemy character there running around and he's got some crazy magic weapon that's cost him 70 or 80 points, and you just come out and destroy that thing straight out? That's huge when you think he's paid, those points for that item, and you're able to just take it away with that spell. So Vols Unmaking, I think, is really good. Obviously, there are many armies out there where people, and you'll see with me, a lot of my sort of normal pick up and play army lists or pick up game army lists, I won't go too heavy on the magic item. So, destroying a 20, 30 point magic item, how much value does that actually have? But, I think there are a number of cases where this could be really quite good. And often you're choosing magic items because they're critical, right? So if you're picking a mage, enemy mage, and he's got a Dispel Scroll, just getting rid of that so that you don't have to worry about it can be incredibly useful. So I actually really like this. I think this has got good value, but it's just not the easiest to cast. And I think if you're going to give it to anybody, it's got to go on a level 4 wizard to get the most value from it. And the range means your wizard got to get close to that enemy character, which is, you're putting your wizard in harm's way to get to that in a lot of cases. Okay, so that's the lore of Safari. So now we're on to the army composition itself. So all the army points, maximums and everything are the same. So characters 50%. You can take 0 to 1 High Elf Prince or Archmage per 1,000 points. You can take 0 to 1 Dragon Mage or Handmaiden of the Everqueen per 1,000 points. And then any number of High Elf Nobles and Mages. And your High Elf Noble can be upgraded to be a Battle Standard Bearer for 25 points. And then you can have a standard with no point limit. Core then, that's the 25% minimum, so you must take these. So Elven Spearmen, Elven Archers, Lothern Seaguard, Illyrian Reavers, and Silverhelms. However, if your general is a Handmaiden of the Everqueen, you can take 1 unit of Sisters of Avalon as core. That's quite nice. Special, so that's maximum again of 50%. So White Lions of Grace, Swordmasters of Earth, Phoenix Guard, Shadow Warriors, and Tyrannoc Chariots. All of those have some interesting value. 0 to 1 unit of Dragon Prince of Canador per 1,000 points. So as you can see there, special is pretty. It's got a lot of choices to make. If your general has the Cracian Hunter Elven Honor, 0 to 1 Lion Chariot of Crace may be taken as a special choice. And if your general has the Seaguard Elven Honor, 0 to 1 Lothern Skycutter may be taken as a special choice. Rare, 25% max as always. So here are your Sisters of Avalon, your Lion Chariots of Grace, and your Lothern Skycutters. You can take 0 to 1 Flamespire Frostheart Phoenix, not counting character mounts, per 1,000 points. 0 to 2 Great Eagles per 1,000 points. And 0 to 2 Eagle Claw Bolt Throwers per 1,000 points. So plenty of choices in rare as well. Mercenaries, 20% max of army points, and allies, 25% max of army points. Any High Elf Realms Army of Infamy, and then one of the following Grand Army composition lists. So Empire of Man as Uneasy, and then you've got the High Elf Realms, Wood Elf Realms there. Okay, and that brings us to the end of the the faction-specific rules and the Grand Army composition. So I hope you enjoyed this video and are looking forward to the remainder of the faction focus for the High Elf Realms. It's going to be the same as all the previous faction focus videos. So we're going to go through the different categories, and then we're going to go on to the magic items and maybe some, and then we've got Elven Honors to go through, and then we're on to some comparisons, characters, infantry, that sort of thing, and then a couple of sample army lists, finishing off with units that may well be missing from the current roster that have been either in video games or have been modeled previously that we may see in the future. Hope you've enjoyed the video. If you did, give it a thumbs up. If you didn't, give it a thumbs down. Let me know why in the comments down below. And as always, if you want to see more content, please hit that subscribe button. We've still got plenty of factions to go. We've got one left in the Force of Fantasy, which is the Wood Elf Realms. And then we're going on to the other book. We've got 4 factions in there. And then we're going to go on to the legendary factions after that. So still plenty to go. If you want to see it, please do hit that subscribe button. It means such a lot to me. And I say it is a quick and easy thing and totally free for you to do. You've been watching The Ghost Owl. Tune back in as we continue our look through the High Elf Realm faction focus.